everyone, and welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host, Ross13, and today we are looking at Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Generation Selects G2 Ramjet. Yeah! I am super excited to take a look at this figure with you guys. I just got this guy in, and you gotta understand, G2 Ramjet was one of my earliest Transformers, particularly during G2. And so I just have a unhealthy love for this type of figure. So let's get started on it. First, we're going to take a look at the box. Okay, as we saw with Transmutate and stuff, it's a standard Generation Selects box. It's all generic cardboard stuff, nothing super interesting. It's what's inside that counts, though. Open her up, and we can see the figure inside and all the extra printing. As you can see, I haven't even taken him out yet, so that's how fresh this is. Let's go ahead and get him freed up, and we'll get started on this. All right, and here he is on my fancy turntable, and oh man, do I love this. The neon purple and turquoise just looks amazing. Absolutely love it. This is what Generation 2 is all about. Bright colors, in your face, over the top, just absolutely amazing. Love it, love it, love it, love it. There are only a few things I would do different that would make this guy absolutely perfect. One of the big ones is there's a lot of markings that aren't on this figure. The original toy had several stickers and stuff like that that added extra detail, and those are all missing. And that would add a little bit more color to this guy as well. I would also change out these guns for ones that look like the admittedly silly looking missile launchers that were on the original figure in Generation 2. I'd also look into making a little backpack thing that has lights and sounds on it like the original, or at the very least a solid plastic one that maybe doesn't have that stuff, just because I think that would add to the whole Generation 2 package. At some point I'm probably going to switch out these Decepticon symbols for G2 Decepticon symbols. Technically this is still accurate to the original figure, but I prefer my G2 symbols on my G2 bots. But yeah, other than those things, which are really just nitpicks if you ask me, I absolutely love this figure and he looks super cool. Let's do a quick rundown on articulation. We've got some universal joints for his shoulders that give him pretty decent range. Single jointed elbow that gives him a little bit better than 90. It's got some jointing here for transformation. No waist articulation, but he can kick up pretty high. This part moves out of the way. And he's got single jointed knee that gives him still pretty decent bend. Some toe point, as well as pointing with the heel spur if you want. And some ankle tilt. So not too bad. You can get him in some decent poses and he'll stay in them. Also, this guy is a Voyager class, so he's a big chunky bot. I keep on thinking about the Deluxe Class Classics version of Ramjet that I had, and it keeps surprising me about just how big this guy is, even though they are built very similar. I would compare the two, but that guy is in a box somewhere along with my original Generation 2 Ramjet, which the box is in the closet, which is kind of a no-go zone right now. Just a lot of stuff that I'd have to go through in order to get in there, so not going to happen this time around, I'm afraid. Anyway, let's go ahead, get this guy in jet mode and see what that's like. Here he is in jet mode, and oh my goodness, does the nostalgia hit hard in this mode in particular. Let me set the scene for you. It's 93, 94. I am just a little Rodimus 13, and I have gone to the mall with my parents, and I see this guy in, it was either a KB or a JCPenney. Either way, I saw this guy and I desperately wanted him because it was brand new Transformers. Generation 2 had just came out and I really wanted him. So I was able to convince my parents to let me take him home. And I just remember carrying him around in the mall, being a happy little Rodimus 13. And in Generation 2, he came packaged in his jet mode. So yes, this little bit of tampoing on the nose cone there that says Ramjet, that's a very big feature that I remember. And yes, I just absolutely love this. And I kind of feel that this is actually not too far from the size of the original figure. I'd have to double check that eventually. Again, they're all in the closet right now and I cannot get them out just yet. Let's go ahead and get this guy off the turntable and take a closer look at him. Okay, and this is a hefty boy. He's definitely got some weight to it and definitely pretty decent size too. Wingspan isn't too great, but he kind of had a narrow wing going on because he was this more sort of wing combined fuselage. I know there's a term for it, but I can't remember what it is. I don't think he's based off of an actual aircraft, though these engines are very SR-71 in style. But oh man, I love this. The underside is a little bit problematic, but what Seeker, what Jet Transformer isn't like that? And you do have this empty gap right there. And this is something that reminds me a lot of the Classics mold, which I think this shares a lot of the same sort of engineering thoughts as the original. But yeah, the main thing we need on this is we need to have some of the stickers up here, and there's some other stickers that this really could use. And there is even a hole right here that could be used to put a little booster pack thing on there that could have at least pretend lights and sounds on it. Because that was one of the things with the G2 original, was it had a little sound box thing that you could plug in on the top and you could push different buttons in and make like missile firing sounds and jet flying sounds and stuff like that. It was how they were trying to add a little bit more oomph to what was a really old toy at the time. But oh yeah, I absolutely love this. Okay, I'm gonna get him back into robot mode and we'll wrap this up. So yeah, overall, I absolutely love this figure. The transformation on it is super engaging with some really neat tricks, particularly with what they do with the wrist and hands here. That is super cool, the way it contracts up. Color scheme is spot on. Lots of nostalgia value to me. There's only a few things that I would do differently, and even those are just nitpicks. They knocked it out of the park with this thing, and I can highly, highly recommend getting it. It is an exclusive though, so you're going to pay a little bit more than your standard Voyager. You probably don't want to go too much over retail, but I do not regret getting this figure, and I don't think anybody else would, particularly if you love G2 as much as I do. Alright, well, I think that is a review. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. Check the description below for links to my storefront where you can get official shelf space t-shirts and more. And yeah, thank you again. I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.